Hi, I'm Nancy O'Neill. Today on Suncoast FYI, we talk to Development Manager Autumn Steiner from the Humane Society of Sarasota County, Pastors Joanne and Ralph Hone of the Source Church in Bradenton, the co-owners Emmy and Elvin Glick of Knockerball and Ninjas, and the co-author of Driving Miss Norma. All next on Suncoast FYI. Our first guest this week is Development Manager Autumn Steiner from the Humane Society of Sarasota County to talk about their upcoming event, Paws on the Catwalk. Good morning, Autumn.
Good morning, Nancy.
Nice to have you here.
Yeah, I'm happy to be here.
Thank you. Well, we want to hear all about Paws on the Catwalk.
Okay, so Paws on the Catwalk is an annual luncheon that we do for the Humane Society of Sarasota County. And this year it'll be on Thursday, March 29th. So it's at the Ritz-Carlton, and it is our favorite event of the year. It's our biggest event of the year. It starts at 10:30 a.m. And it is just, it's nonstop fun.
So it will be a fashion show with the Paws on the Catwalk, or
that's
will
right.
They have human?
They're real models. They're human models.
Okay.
So we have a lot of things. So from the minute the doors open at 10:30, it's just like I said, nonstop action.
Like
so
what?
we have past cocktails, of course, and then we go right into we have shopping. So there will be about a dozen vendors there who are selling clothes, shoes, home accents, all sorts of fun stuff.
Okay. Now, will some of that benefit the Humane Society as well?
The proceeds from the actual the vendors don't benefit the Humane Society, but there is a raffle going on.
Okay.
So people can purchase raffle tickets, and we have usually about 100 items up for grabs. So
donated from local businesses in the community.
Yep, they're all donated. Okay. And so then once the ballroom doors open for lunch, we go in and it's live entertainment. Then we have a live auction. Last year, one of the live auction items was a trip to Africa.
Oh my goodness!
So they're really cool prizes. And then we have the culminating event is a fashion show, which is put on by Influence Style. They're local here on St. Armands and in Lakewood Ranch, and they do
fabulous clothes.
They do a wonderful job. They've done this for us several years now, and they bring in professional models. They showcase all the spring and summer trends. So it's really cool. The event is just high energy. It's fun. And of course, we always have adoptable animals there with us.
I was going to ask you, I was hoping. So how many will you have? How many little critters?
Usually we have somewhere between 4 and 10 animals there with us. We have adoptable animals, and we usually bring our pet therapy pets as well, just to kind of showcase.
You have an adorable little
I do. I have a pet therapy dog myself.
Yeah.
She's actually been on the show.
She's lovely. So how does it actually benefit the Humane Society? Where do the proceeds go?
So all of the proceeds benefit us at the Humane Society. So we are completely independent. So a lot of people think, oh, Humane Society, you're all tied together, but we're not actually. So every dollar that we raise at this event goes back to support the mission of the Humane Society of Sarasota County. So this is our largest fundraiser of the year. We really count on this to help us fulfill our mission to save animals every year.
Absolutely, and there's a lot of them out there, isn't there?
There are.
How many animals did you see last year?
Last year we adopted, we found homes for 1,500 animals.
Bless your heart.
So
it's wonderful. Where can our viewers go to find out more information about the event?
So they can go to purchase their tickets, and tickets are $150 per person, and they go to www.hssc.org/Paws on the Catwalk. And there's a really easy way. They just say purchase tickets, and that's all they have to do.
How about businesses and sponsoring the event? Are there still available spots for businesses to do that?
Yes, we have tons of sponsorship and underwriting opportunities. They start out at $500 for underwriting, all the way up through $10,000 for sponsorships. And those all include at least one ticket on up to 10 tickets. And we really count on the sponsors to help make this event a success.
Absolutely. Wonderful. Well, thank you so much for taking care of our little four-legged friends.
Thank you, Nancy.
Coming up next on Suncoast FYI, we meet with the Source Church of Bradenton, so please stay tuned. We're joined now by Pastors Ralph and Joanne Hoehnes from the Source Church of Bradenton. Welcome to the program.
Thank you.
Thank you
Nice
for
to
having
meet you
us.
both. I want to hear all about your church. And what is the Source Church and how was it founded?
It's a non-denominational church. We started in 2007, and we
Here or somewhere?
actually in Bradenton.
Okay.
Actually started in Sarasota. We moved around many times for the first several years.
Okay.
But now we have a permanent home on State Road 64 in Bradenton.
Okay. And what led to the creation of the church?
Well, we moved from Canada 13 years ago, and after a couple years here, we just started noticing a lot of the people around us were just living in such defeated lifestyles, and we had seen God do so much in our lives, and we just wanted to take a moment and start a small group and start sharing some of the principles in our lives, which turned into a class called Victorious Living, which eventually a year later turned into a church. And so it's just been birthed from our passion to really see people walk into their best lives.
Okay. So Bradenton, how long have you been in Bradenton? And where is it located in Bradenton?
We've been the church has been 10 years old.
Yeah.
We're in Bradenton
Yeah.
on State Road 64, just west of the interstate.
5412.
5412. And what times are your services?
Sundays at 9 and 11 a.m.
Okay. And you both
We co-teach.
co-teach.
We do this
I
together
like
every
that.
Sunday.
We do step on each other's toes every so often,
But we have fun. We have fun with it. And
Yeah.
Okay. Now you have another location you were saying as well.
we do in Winnipeg, Manitoba, Canada.
Okay. So do you do podcasts when you're giving your services?
Yeah, we live stream over to that campus, so it's a satellite campus.
Wonderful.
And then we do have an online campus, so people can watch online
Okay.
as well every year.
Can tell us a little bit more about it since it's
Non-denominational.
Thank you so much.
Well, we're very much a church of just come as you are, and jeans, shorts, whatever you want to do. And our whole goal as a church is just to move people forward in their life with God. Help them discover one more great aspect God has for them that maybe they didn't know.
Okay.
So come as you are, whether you're a mess or whether you're in a great place and just want to get to a better place.
So can you
We're
give
all
us
about
an
that.
example of what one of your services would consist of?
Okay, well, last year we did a series called Are You Ready to Rumble? And we had a whole boxing ring set up on our platform.
Okay.
And we talked about how do you fight in life? Like, what are the tools God's given us to fight and win a battle? So we have
In constructive ways.
in
so-
constructive, healthy way.
Okay. Okay.
And so we have live music, which is really contemporary. We have a message that the two of us share. And
At the end of each service.
Yeah.
Okay.
So our goal is really to bring really practical, applicable teaching, so that it's not over somebody's head and they don't, what did they say, what words were they using? We try to keep it on a real simple level so that everybody can understand it, but then not only understand it, how do I apply this to my life this
Exactly.
week?
How do you
Yeah,
take it home
exactly.
with you and integrate it into your own lives? That's
Yeah.
so important. That's wonderful.
Yeah.
Thank you. Where can our viewers go to find out more about you?
our website is www.source.church. And they can find out all their information, or they can find the Source Church Bradenton on social media.
Wonderful. Thank you both for being
Thank
here.
you for
Thank
having
you.
us.
Pleasure meeting you. After the break, we hear more about the fun new recreational activity available at the Westfield Sarasota Square Mall. Our next two guests are co-owners Emmy and Elvin Glick of Knockerball in Ninjas here in Sarasota. It's nice to meet you. I've looked on your Facebook page and I saw what they are, but let's back up a little bit and tell us how you started this business and what got you interested in knockerballs and ninjas.
Well, in 2014, we had 4 grandchildren, and we bought a water slide for the backyard.
Sure.
And we had kids in there all summer long from like ages 3 to 13. They had a great time. They didn't fight, no arguing. I said, we're on to something with
Yeah.
this. So the
You have
next
to keep them interested. You have to keep them busy, right?
Exactly, and
Yeah.
it was good to keep them busy and not on their phones or
Right, exactly.
that sort of thing.
Give 'em
Get them off the
something to do.
couch.
Yep.
So the next spring, that was so successful. The next spring we said, well, what else is there out there? So I started looking, and I found the Knockerballs, and we did an event in our town in Pennsylvania, where we're from. And then one thing just led to another.
So Knockerballs, what type of activities do you offer?
The Knockerball goes on over your head. We have 3 different sizes, and we've had all the way from ages 3 to 85 go in the ball.
Okay.
You can roll in the ball. You can play soccer in the ball because your legs are out, so you can run with the ball on. Most people just like to play human bumper cars with the ball.
Yeah, just like they did with the ninja suits we were talking about.
Yep.
So anybody can play, basically.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
And you can have events, you can have team building at your location, right? Which is where?
It's in the Westfield Sarasota Square Mall. We're located between JCPenney and H&M.
Okay, and 20,000 square feet or so, so there's a lot of room to play around. How many people can you actually accommodate at one time?
We have 2 different fields for the Knockerball. We like to separate out our adults and our smaller players.
Yeah.
Probably, I'd say maybe 20 would be the most in a field because you want people to have room to move.
Sure. And you also said you do team building, so businesses and things can bring their
church groups, school groups. This summer,
be fun for
when
school
kids
groups,
are on,
right?
When the kids are on vacation, we hope to be able to work with some of the summer camps in the area, so that we can be in their program.
One final question for you, dear. What's your favorite thing about Knockerballs?
Oh, just seeing kids have fun.
How about you? Do you get in there? You ever get in the Knockerballs?
Oh, yes. Yeah.
Do you guys ever play around in there too?
I mean, once in a while, I'll, get in and do a roll, but most of the time I just roll the kids around.
Okay. So that was the most fun about starting the business? I mean, what did you enjoy most about it?
We enjoy watching people have fun. It's fun. It's enjoyable for us to watch people enjoying themselves.
I bet it's funny. I bet you have a lot of bloopers. So a phone number where folks can reach you.
Okay, it's 941-926-9090.
Okay, we'll put that across the screen, and you're also on Facebook. Great. Well, thank you both for being here this morning, and we'll have to get our group over there and have some fun with you.
Yes, we'll do some team building.
Okay. Please stay tuned. Coming up next is co-author of Driving Miss Norma. Our last guest this week is Ramie Liddle, the co-author of Driving Miss Norma. I'm so glad you were able to come on the show, Ramie.
I'm so happy to be here. Thank you.
Now, there's many ways to start the story that we're about to share with our viewers, but let's start with you and your husband, Tim, and how the journey all began.
Tim and I are nomads. We've been traveling in various forms of RVs, and we actually now live on a boat for a little over a decade. So we haven't had a sticks and bricks house for a long time. So I think that's important to know as we go into our story, that we spent a lot of time on the highways and byways of this country.
So the person that we're going to be talking about now is your mother-in-law, Miss Norma.
Yes.
And how did your mother-in-law, how did Norma come into play with your traveling a nomadic life?
Norma lived in northern Michigan for her entire retirement. She's 90 years old. Her husband died one year in 2015, when we arrived at their home. He was very sick, and 10 days later he died. 2 days after that, she was diagnosed with cancer. So our family we were in crisis, absolutely in crisis. We're one of those families who for many, many years put off having the conversation of what do we do if the situation needs to change for our parents. We chickened out. Every year we would drive up to Michigan, talk about how this is going to be the year, and then we never got it done. So this time around, we had to get it done. Norma was very clear when she was having these health problems. She said, I don't want any treatment. I don't want to do chemotherapy, radiation, any of those kinds of things. But I also know that I can't live by myself without Leo any longer. And so with that, we recognized two options, really. We can find some kind of care facility.
But she didn't want that.
She didn't, and neither did we, really.
Yeah.
But that was an option, and we wanted to give her all the options that we could consider. The other option was, like a lot of adult children do with their elderly parents, is invite them to live with them.
Right. But you and she and Tim took a different road, and what was that?
Well, we invited her to live with us. She knew our house had wheels. And it took her, we said, give yourself some time. Think about it, pray about it, do whatever it needs. We have lots of time to get this figured out, and let us know when you make the decision. And about a minute and a half later, she said, I think I'd like to come along.
Oh my gosh. Okay.
Yeah.
So she chose just to say yes to life, as you put it, and come on this amazing adventure with you, which you have documented in this beautiful book about her and her travels with you. And there's somebody else on the cover here.
That's Ringo.
That's Ringo.
Yeah.
Ringo was with you the whole time.
Ringo is with us. He's our standard poodle, and he turned into an amazing therapy dog along the way. Yeah.
So, how did your mom become your mother-in-law become, and your mom, I'm sure too. Yeah. How did you become Miss Norma?
We started this trip leaving her driveway when she was sick. She was in deep grief, and we really didn't know how far we were going to make it. It might just be a short trip.
Sure.
And so along the way, I used to keep a travel blog of our travels, and I thought, that's too cumbersome. I'll just start a Facebook page. And so I started this Facebook page so my mom would know where we were, where a couple of our friends could follow along. And I would take pictures of her along the way. And there was a day when she just hammed it up in front of a giant statue of the Jolly Green Giant.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, she had her green sweater on, total accident, and just stood in front of the giant with her hands on her hips. And all of a sudden, this very shy housewife, 90 years old, from the Midwest, all of a sudden blossomed. And we were like, we've got something here.
This is it. This is it. So that's how the book began. We only have about a minute left, unfortunately. Yeah. So you've got so many beautiful stories in here about what she did, such as that. A wonderful story you shared with me about being on an Indian reservation and everybody just spreading the way for her when she was there in her wheelchair. Yeah. But you have to buy the book to read all of those stories.
There's a lot in there.
You have to buy the book. How would you recommend this sort of journey to other people facing this type of life crisis, Ramie?
It's not for everyone. We're very clear about that. What we've learned is that conversation, the one that we put off for forever, is the key. It's the key to peace in families. It's the key to a beautiful end of life experience. If you are able to break that barrier and talk about what your wishes are.
So just make your dreams come true. Live your life every day. Yeah. Now, finally, you have a movie offer.
We do.
As well on this with Fox Searchlight. Looking forward to seeing.
Yeah, we'll see what happens. Okay. It's kind of exciting.
Thank you so much for being here today.
Thanks for having me. Yeah.
Please stay tuned. You're watching Suncoast FYI. Our next two guests are Howard Rooks, owner and general manager Tito Vitorino, are here to tell us about their new restaurant, Amore, in Sarasota. Hi, guys.
Hello.
Nice to see you. Nice to meet you. So let's start. Restaurant ownership. You told me that wasn't your major career in your life, Howard. What was that?
Real estate was my major career. I had a real estate company in the Washington, D.C. area, and at the time I sold it, we had about 2,000 agents, as a matter of fact. And then I owned some property. I love Sarasota. I have just always loved Sarasota.
So you've come here
prior.
Yeah,
well, I started coming here, in 1970. I bought my first house here. But we're here to talk about the restaurant.
Of course. Okay. Okay. So tell us about your involvement, Tito, in the restaurant. How has that been for you?
Well, for me, it's been a love affair of 26 years now in Sarasota. And I've been doing it since I've been 16 years old. And we met a little over 3 years ago when we started our partnership, our adventure in Lamboki, and our relationship has been almost like father and son, twin brothers. We look like.
Thank you.
Pretty much.
Yes. Well, you do. I was going to ask you who was the younger of the
No,
two.
you're right.
The first time that he asked me if he's my father.
Yeah,
Really?
I would say that. Sure.
And so
I would be proud to be his father.
That's very nice. Okay, back to the restaurant now. I'll get pleasantries out of the way here. Tell us about the menu and what makes it so unique and different to our other restaurants here in Sarasota.
I think I'm going to defer this to Tito because
Okay.
he's more involved in establishing the menu than I am. In fact, he's more involved in making the restaurant successful. You
well,
bet.
it's a teamwork, but we have things on the menu that not too many Italian restaurants are offering in town. We are very proud of our, table side preparations, like the Caesar salad from scratch. Then we have 3 desserts table side: the Sherry Jubilee, the Bananas Foster, the Crepe Suzette. But from the great appetizers, it's not a rocket science, it's an Italian restaurant. But we have quite a different flair. We have great escargots, we have great eggplant appetizers. Then some of the classic dishes, the veal marsalas, the veal chopped valdostana, the rack of lamb. Our best seller by far is the branzino, the Atlantic sea bass.
Ooh, I love sea bass.
Is a full tail, completely deboned, served on the skin, and the butterfly in the plate, and it's quite impressive as you receive it, and as you taste it, it's so delicate, full of flavor, and is by far our best seller. But our unique way to serve the customers and the menu itself is quite complete, and almost the entire package. If you're looking for a good Italian restaurant, we are no better than nobody. Slightly different.
Slightly different. Well, I mean, you need to have things that set you aside from others, and I think all of those things that you mentioned, because I did go on your website, and you have a beautiful menu. I mean,
Thank you.
Just lovely.
So the 2 of my favorites would be the rack of lamb, which I think is great, and of course we have wonderful steaks as well.
That's nice too.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, it's
Sometimes
good for
people
something
just
for
want a
everybody.
good steak.
Right. How involved have you been, Howard, since the restaurant opened?
Well, quite involved when we were preparing to open, because we had a lot of work to do on the building, and so we were able to do that in about 5 months. So I was involved there. As far as being too involved in the day-to-day operations, I am not, because again, I don't have the experience that Tito has.
Well, you make a good team then.
Well, we do make a good team. He's a wonderful guy to work with.
Now, when did you move from Longboat Key? How did you decide on that move?
We had, again, the reason we opened the restaurant on Longboat Key was the fact that I happened to own the building, and it had been designed and had been used in the past as a restaurant. Well, during the recession, you could not find a tenant. No one, if they had money, they didn't want to take a chance.
Yeah.
So finally, toward the end of the recession, I thought, the heck with it. I'll open it myself. So then, fortunately, I had the opportunity to meet Tito and his wife, Liana, who's also very involved in the operation. And immediately, we had a relationship. And it's just been great working with him, and because again, he's one of the best restaurateurs in the whole area.
There you go.
Yeah.
Now, were you going to say something, Tito?
No, I mean, just adding that it's been a teamwork between me, my wife Liana, and when we were pretty much almost kind of forced to live the Lambo Key, the beautiful, majestic building, we were very lucky to find this very charismatic, almost like you feel like you took it from a fairy tale.
Yes, in Italy,
book, because the place has so much character. We have beautiful different rooms, from that open glamorous patio to a very formal Madonna room that we so elaborate, and we put all our art and our more formal touches into it. Then the Puglia patio, kind of facing the entire Burns Court, that historical street, and as appeal to everyone, and for relaxing, casual, formal, and it's quite unique and
so a couple
special.
Final little questions here. So you said you have separate rooms. Can you have parties? Can you? How many people can you seat for?
He mentioned the Madonna room. That will hold about 34 people.
Okay.
It's ideal for corporate work, for just people who want quiet conversation.
Okay. Great.
And so then we have downstairs, of course, the entertainment. So ideally, we hope they would come there if they don't want the music while they're dining.
Yep.
And then after eating, they go downstairs and listen to music.
Okay. So last second here, where are you located now?
We are located at 446 South Pineapple Avenue.
Okay.
And 443 Burns Court, because the restaurant goes from one street to the next.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, our viewers can go online and find out all about you and look at your beautiful menu.
Yes, of course. And you can always dial the 941-383-1111 and call Yana for a reservation. She will find a way to get you in.
Okay. Great. We'll do that.
Okay.
Thank you, gentlemen.
No, thank you, Nancy.
Thank you.
Coming up after the break, we find out what events will be taking place this week on the Suncoast. Coming up this weekend on the Suncoast, on Saturday, February 3rd, the United Way Suncoast will be hosting the second annual United Obstacle Course Race at the Sarasota Celery Fields. During this 3-mile course, there will be challenges including climbing walls, crawls, and hurdles. Also on Saturday, the Rotary Club of Sarasota will be hosting their 43rd annual Pioneer Picnic at the Sarasota Fairgrounds starting at 11:30 a.m. And Wingfest will be taking place at J. Dub's Brewing Company from 5 to 10 p.m. If you would like to promote your community event on Suncoast FYI, we would love to hear from you. Just call us at 941-361-4639. To view previous episodes, go to snntv.com under programming. I'm Nancy O'Neill, and we'll see you next Friday on Suncoast FYI.